What's your experience been like with international tours?
Well, good and bad. Most of it has been, I mean, because it's an experience, you're just enjoying it and you're having the best time.
Mm-hmm.
We've had the pleasure of playing, big festivals, so there you get to play to fairly big crowds. But we also played at big festivals where we only played to like 100, people because we're in the middle of the day or we were announced last minute or anything, any number of reasons. But it's very different there, the scene. There you can actually like kind of chart your growth and see that like, because for us when we play in London now or we play in the UK, we actually see people come out for us, same faces. So when we
Hmm.
played Bloodstock in 2018, that was our last gig there. Like we packed that full tent. People came out to see us. We sold out all our merch,
Mm-hmm.
and we actually felt like, yeah, after 20 years, this feels like it's worth it. Whereas here it's more like, how many people will come? Oh shit, 100 people came, 150 came,
Yeah.
you know. And there it's very more DIY. It's like you drive yourself from venue to venue if you're playing small ones. I mean, we've played
Hmm.
most of our shows that we have sort of headlined in clubs. We've played to 15 to 30 people. That's
Hmm.
been it. And we've also supported some bands. So like the whole experience has been great,
Mm-hmm.
but it's something you need to just keep doing like every year and constantly building it up and growing and. But it's very difficult.
Right. What are the choke points?
Oh, just getting booked because you're one of like a gazillion bands in the world that wants to play there, right?
Right.
In Europe, whether it's booking a tour, whether it's playing a festival.
Is it true that some festivals charge the band for a slot?
Probably, but like
Uh,
I was just going to say that. So now, for example, if I want to play like 30 days in Europe
mm-hmm.
with a bigger band, most of the time those slots they're called buy-on slots.
Mm.
So you need about 10 to 15,000 euros to you have to pay to play. So
Mm.
again, every deal is different. So there are some deals like we got offered one show. It was a 40-day tour.
Mm-hmm.
We would have had to pay 600 euros every single day.
Oh,
And what we would get for that is we would be on the bus with the other bands.
okay.
So that would basically be where we stay and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we get paid nothing to play.
Mm.
Uh, and we'd get our merch, obviously.
Mm.
But even if we did 10 days, that's 6,000 euros. We would not be able to sell 600 euros worth of merch every night.
Hmm.
So we would not break even,
Yeah.
and we'd be in spending all that money. And we'd also need flights, visas. Other offers have been like, okay, you bring yourself to every show and you pay 250 euros to play.
Hmm.
So
Is it just me or this seems like it's upside down?
it is upside down.
Uh.
But it's also like, so we also got an offer in 2012 where we were supposed to play with the band.
Mm-hmm.
We were told, yeah, so you will get paid 250 euros to play each
Hmm.
show,
Okay.
which is correct. You get paid to play.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be on the nightliner with the headliner and the other two bands. And
Mm.
all four bands are going to split the cost of the bus and the crew and everything.
Right.
So you'll share a tour manager, sound engineer, everything will be there,
Mm.
but you're splitting the cost equally, all
Mm-hmm.
four bands.
Okay.
So that was coming out to about 12,500 euros. And what we
Hmm.
would have been paid, counting all the shows together, would have been some 6,500 euros. So we were going to lose 6,000 euros despite being paid.
And what about merch and
Yeah, we would get to sell our merch, but again,
mm.
like 6,000,
6,000?
it's you're
Yeah.
losing 6,000 euros. And then over that,
Mm.
we have flights from India plus visa,
Mm-hmm.
all that. So we would have definitely lost. In fact, we had calculated it was going to cost us 8 lakhs. And we were all going to take a loan of 1.5 lakhs each to play.
That's always a bad idea.
But luckily, I mean, not
Mm.
luckily, but basically that tour didn't happen. So we never had
Mm.
to do any of that. The band just said they don't want a tour. So they
Mm.
canned the whole thing. But yeah, that's
Right.
what the reality is to actually get out in Europe. Unless, of course, you have, unless you're like Gutslit,
Mm-hmm.
who have luckily met the right people, made friends, and they four bands went out together,
Mm-hmm.
and they sell a ton of merch and they break even.
Yeah.
So like we
But even after that, they're only breaking even.
yeah, pretty much, because you, as an Indian band, you have a cost from your flight tickets and visa,
Yeah.
which for four members also is a lot.
Yeah. Oh, and with the visa thing, back, at least in the past 10 years, there have been multiple counts of the visa getting, shows getting booked, but visa getting rejected.
Yeah.
What's that about?
It's just, I mean, this is just your the price you pay for having an Indian passport. Yeah, if you want to go on a holiday also to the UK or France or anywhere in Europe, you have to give 6 month bank statement, IT statement, return. Like they take your whole life. You have to go and show them, and like then you get a visa. So it's the same for being in a band. You have to go and give all that paperwork, and hopefully you'll get it. So we had our visa rejected. We lost a lakh and 20,000 in 2011. We applied for the UK visa for Sonosphere, and we were sitting and watching the live stream of Sonosphere when our visas came, and all were rejected because we didn't have £1,000 in our bank account for 3 months before the application. I did and Mephisto did, but the other three guys didn't. So three of their visas were rejected. Mine was rejected because I didn't attest my bank statement. But yeah, like
What very random things these are.
yeah, so like for the UK, at least at that point, you needed to get something called a certificate of sponsorship, which used to cost £40 per person. This has to be given to you by an A-listed company in the UK.
Right.
So, and that company has to accept liability for you. If they don't accept liability, then you need £1,000 in your bank account for 3 months prior to leaving. This is a work permit. So all the visas, even America work permit is so expensive. It's a lot of headache to get a visa for most of these countries. So yeah, we just did and unfortunately got rejected and all that money went. Luckily we didn't book flights because we were like we'll wait for the visa to book the flight.
Yeah, good call.